to see you, team. Dr. Joshua here with Lymphedema PT, and in this episode, we are going to talk about CDT, also known as Complete Decongestive Therapy, or Complete Decongestive Physiotherapy. What is CDT? How does it apply to lymphedema and other chronic swelling disorders? And what are some of the nuances that it comes to that? So first off, CDT, Complete Decongestive Therapy, is a form of treatment developed in Germany by the Foldies, who have taken on some of the classical approaches by Vader and other people in regards to combining different approaches to managing chronic swelling. This would include manual lymphatic drainage or manual manipulation of the lymphatic system with human hands to promote reduction of fluid out of a certain area. It also includes compression bandaging, exercise, skin care or wound care, along with an approach that is long-term management of the condition. So let's get into the different aspects of it, how this applies to you, how it applies to just everyone out there in regards to managing chronic swelling. So first thing, Complete Decongestive Therapy, CDT. It comprises of two phases. You can look at this as an acute phase and then a chronic long-term management phase. So in phase one, or the acute phase, the initial starting point, you've got four major aspects that you're going to be looking at. The goal of which is obviously to reduce fluid, heal the skin, heal the system, reduce inflammation. So first aspect of CDT would be compression. Okay, that in my estimation is the biggest, most important part when you're going to start focusing each of these different aspects on there. So in CDT, you have short stretch bandages. Okay, short stretch bandages for compression is the gold standard when it comes to managing lymphedema. Okay, now it's very, very important that when you're looking at bandaging techniques, because there's a lot out there, especially in the US, and you're looking at wound care centers and vascular doctors and that sort of thing, short stretch bandage is completely different than an ACE bandage or an Unna boot or Coban or Pro4. Completely different. Okay, if you're going to a wound care center or a vascular doctor, a podiatrist, something like that, and you have lymphedema and they're trying to manage you with ACE bandage or Coban or an Unna boot, something like that, that is a subpar bandaging. All right. And with that, you're going to get subpar results or even negative results with that. All right. So short stretch bandage is a very specialized type of bandage. It has a lot of different physics principles to it. You're able to really change how you apply pressures to the limb, particularly as you're adding in different types of padding, different types of foam, and that sort of thing. It has to be done by a skilled practitioner, although people can learn how to do them themselves under guidance. And it's a system that's built specifically to you, to your limb, to your lymphedema, to your situation, okay? I'm going to do a whole other video on short stretch bandage, so I won't get into that. But that's the first phase, is using the short stretch bandage to apply it to the limb to decongest the area, okay? Second thing would be manual lymphatic drainage. So MLD is manipulation of the fluid from some sort of external force that typically is done with the human hand over certain areas. It can be done to yourself. It can be done, really, when you think about it, under compression with different types of exercise, you're promoting manual lymphatic drainage. Being in a pool, okay, is manual lymphatic drainage if you really think about it, because of the hydrostatic pressure that's being applied to the system. So basically in manual lymphatic drainage, you start proximally, you start at the neck, the terminus of the lymphatic system, and then work distally to the involved limb. So if it's the arm, you'd start at the neck, work your way down, okay? Based upon how the condition is presenting itself and really where the deficits are at, you would look at utilizing other aspects of the lymphatic system. So particularly if it's the arm, you're looking at using the opposite armpit axilla. You're looking at using the inguinal areas, the neck, the back, different places to move this fluid. Once again, this is a very skilled technique and is unique to you and should be administered by a therapist that's knowledgeable in this, that really knows what they're doing in regards to moving this fluid. So we've got compression bandaging, we've got manual lymphatic drainage. The other two things, exercise. Exercise under compression, in my estimation. Because what happens when you exercise outside of being compressed is you're actually generating more lymphatic fluid. As you are exercising, it increases arterial flow, increases blood flow to the area, and demands to the exercise. So if you're walking a lot, that sort of thing, you're increasing the amount of lymphatic fluid that's going down to the limb. And if you're exercising not in compression, you're just going to worsen the lymphedema, okay? So exercising under compression. And this is normally just gentle exercise. Granted, it matters what level you're at. If you're at a very, very basic level, this can just be doing isometric exercises in a seated position. It can be standing. It can be just trying to walk. There's a whole range of exercise regimes. I've seen people who are very high level that are at the gym doing all sorts of things. It's nuanced, as with all of these things, to you. It has to be applied just to you, okay? So you've got compression bandaging, short stretch bandaging, you've got manual lymphatic drainage, you have exercise, and the fourth thing would be skin care. So with lymphedema, it's a chronic inflammatory state. It destroys essentially your immune system of your skin, that localized immune system. So you have to treat your skin like it is. It's an organ, okay? Which means you have to develop and improve the robustness of it, the resiliency of your skin. And so, as with all things, it matters where your starting point is. If you have wounds, that would include wound care. If you've got really dry, cracking, really susceptible skin to wounds or infections and that sort of thing, using the right type of lotion, using the right type of cleaning products, using the right type of moisture management. If you're an individual that has lobules or skin folds, you're looking at managing inside the skin folds for fungal growth, for maceration from sweat or something like that. So those four things really are the cornerstone for managing lymphedema initially. And the management of this really starts off at the eval, at when I as a therapist would see you. We're already thinking, okay, where are we going to go from here? So that's the first phase, that's the acute phase. And you work that acute phase for however long you need it, okay? Some people, maybe it's a week or two. Some people, it's months, maybe even over a year, based upon how severe your condition is, any type of comorbidities we have to deal with. So those are the aspects of that first phase. And we just continue to work that plan and adapt as appropriate. If you're an individual that starts with a very large limb or a very complex limb, we're going to be adapting the techniques throughout. But eventually, hopefully, you get to a point where the limb is reduced as much as is possible and the skin has been healed to a point where it's robust, it's resilient, where if there is a setback and maybe we're in compression improperly or going a day or two without compression, you're not going to have this huge return of lymphatic fluid. You're not going to have this immediate breakdown of skin where blisters or something like that are developing. So we really want to kind of prolong that first phase to ensure that the body is healed enough to manage the movement over to the second phase. So second phase, the chronic, the long-term management phase is something that is slowly transitioned to. And it really mirrors the first phase. And by that, what I mean is we're still doing compression, external compression. We're still draining the lymphatic system manually through some aspect. We're still going to be managing the skin, and we're still going to be progressing that exercise program, okay? So traditionally, the transition from first phase to second phase is you're taking the short stretch bandages and you're going to be transitioning over to some sort of compression garment. Now, classically, most people think of a hose, okay? In just my work, because I'm dealing with more complex patients or people that have difficulties in regards to self-care, we typically are looking at the Velcro style garments or maybe a combination of the two. We're really working with the patient. That's one of the great parts about what I'm able to do in my practice is we're really looking at what are these strengths and what are the weaknesses in regards to managing the edema? Is there a caregiver that's going to be helping out? Can the patient, reach their feet, reach their toes? Okay, all of these things are kind of coming into play. But ultimately, the goal is to transition over to a compression garment. Additionally, with that, mind you, where we're thinking about funding sources for these compression garments. Currently, in 2020, in February 2020, Medicare doesn't cover good garments. There's the way to get them covered. It's kind of I don't say a loophole, but it's not really a functional way to get garments. And the garments you do get through Medicare are very low standard in my estimation. So we're looking at what are funding sources. This may be obviously cash pay. So you're working with your DME company in regards to, okay, this is what it's going to look like when we get to this point. If you've got a insurance that covers garments, for instance, if you have a Medicare population that has a true secondary, this would be, I'm in San Antonio, so this would be like TRICARE for life. Okay, you'd find a durable medical equipment company that is in network with TRICARE for life that covers compression garments, or maybe a Blue Cross Blue Shield federal program, or some sort of true secondary insurance that will cover garments. Always look into that. I've had a lot of people where they have a secondary insurance that will cover these things, but they've been buying all this stuff out of pocket. And I'm just like, wow, we never looked into this. So we're thinking about those funding sources. Granted, you have cash pay, you have insurance. And then the third thing is maybe going through some sort of charity, maybe where you live at. Look into possible charities for medical equipment. In the past, we haven't been able to do this recently because of funding, but I have a local charity that I was able to work with them in regards to getting a certain amount of garments covered through a DME umbrella. What they would normally help people buy wheelchairs or walkers or hospital beds, things of that nature. We were able to get the DME to cover compression garments. It was a great program, and now we're looking at trying to find other sources for that. So ultimately, you really want to think of that from the beginning. Where's our end game with this? Okay, what are we trying to get this person into? How are we going to pay for it? That sort of thing. So first part of the second phase, the chronic phase, the long-term management phase, transitioning to compression garments. While I'm doing that as a therapist, if you're able to do that, you want to continue to watch that person. You don't want to reduce a frequency to the point where you're no longer able to monitor that, because misapplication of a compression garment, you can go backwards pretty quickly, or if you put it on really the wrong way, you can cause a lot of damage. So we're monitoring that approach to ensure that we're doing this really well. Manual lymphatic drainage. During our process of going from phase 1 to phase 2, we're looking at how much can a person handle themselves. So with MLD, it could be as simple as doing a neck treatment and then deep diaphragmatic breathing. I'm a big fan of that. I think it goes a long way. And then, is there a caregiver? Is there a person who can administer this MLD in addition to doing all the compression stuff? And we're also looking at a pneumatic compression device. I'm a big fan of the FlexiTouch. I think it does the best in terms of mimicking what a therapist does with their hands. And working with that company to, if it's indicated, to start bringing that into as a treatment aspect to it. We're trying to pull together as many resources as possible to promote positive movement in regards to moving this fluid out. So we've got compression, we have our long-term management in terms of MLD, and then we have our exercise program. This is something as a physical therapist, I'm constantly looking at, okay, what are the goals? Is it something as simple as I want to be able to walk safely from my recliner to the bathroom and get something to eat? Is that the goal? Okay, well, we'll work on that. Anytime a person can start to exercise more, it's going to affect not only the lymphatic system, but any other disease state that may be affecting the lymphatic system. For instance, diabetes. If you're able to exercise more, if you're able to really start getting up to that 30 minutes a day, 6 days out of the week of moderate cardiovascular exercise, we're going to start affecting blood sugars. So you start affecting blood sugars, it's going to start affecting the vascular system. So all of these things are related. So transitioning to that long-term exercise program, maybe getting to a gym, maybe starting to do more pool exercises, a lot of different things, and it's unique to you. That's why it's very important to have a qualified therapist to manage you along the way as we're doing and adding in all these components. Finally, skincare. This goes just down into generalized self-care. This is, if you have skin folds, are you looking inside of them to make sure nothing's growing in there? Are you keeping the skin clean? Are you moisturizing? Are you using the right type of soap for your skin? That's just the long-term management. If you have, let's say, nail issues, if you have lower extremity lymphedema and you need to be seen by a podiatrist or someone that's going to be monitoring your nail health, it's important to kind of add all of those different aspects in, okay? And this may seem like a lot initially, and it is, especially if it's something that you have a condition that's been neglected for long periods of time or just been allowed for itself to just kind of run amok. It's going to take time to do this. We're looking at months and years, not days and weeks, if you have a more chronic stage 3 style lymphedema, okay? But it is possible. And I've been blessed in my position to be able to stay with people for the long term. Who knows what that's going to look like in the future in regards to insurance reimbursement, but you want a qualified therapist that's going to be monitoring you for the long run. That is, you guys are connected. You guys are monitoring this condition. This is a chronic long-term condition, so you want to continue to have that person in your corner that knows you, knows your edema, knows your nuances, to be able to guide you, okay, through all of this. And so that's kind of the long-term chronic phase in regards to lymphedema. So you've got that first phase of CDT, the short stretch bandaging, the manual lymphatic drainage, the exercise, the skin care, wound care, that sort of thing. Then transitioning to a compression garment, self-MLD, pneumatic compression device, and then a long-term exercise program that's going to be constantly developed, and then along with that, skin care. So that's CDT. In a nutshell, complete decongestive therapy. Each one of these aspects, we can go into that rabbit hole and really get a good education as to what those things are. But that is complete decongestive therapy in a nutshell. And make sure that if you have lymphedema, you are with a certified lymphedema therapist that knows what they're doing, that has seen your condition before, to really guide you through this, particularly when it comes to the bandage application and helping you to get into a compression garment long term and that sort of thing. So, as always, contact me at lymphedemapt.com. You can email me at lymphedemadpt@gmail. Eventually, I'll have the email set up through the website. And ask me questions. I really want to know. If you are watching this, put in the comments. I'll be monitoring them because I want to know what you want me to go over and help you out with. So until next time, stay awesome. Bye, guys.